All right. Disclaimer. Sorry about your toes because I'm probably going to step on a few. Listen, guys, we're living in a time of smoke and mirrors and ones and zeros, and it's time to wake up. And that's what Thumper's here to do. We're here to step on some toes, hopefully, wake some people up. Anyway, the topic that I'm bringing to you today is about division. In my last two videos, I encourage you to check them out. They are both related to this topic, division, and how the powerful have the powers that be, the elites, they have used this tactic since the dawn of time because it works. And they understand that if they can divide the people cannot be united and have power because there is power in the people when the people are united, and they understand that, and that's a threat to them, and so they do everything that's in their control to try and maintain these divisions. And throughout time there's been many different uh, synthetically created divisions that have been pushed out into society and into the culture, and for the most part they've worked. I mean, we see from not the too distant past here, the whole race card where you have blacks against whites, you know and then after, and that did work for a while, but then after that started to lose steam, then we get the you know it kind of happened around the time that they understood that the boomers were like the only ones interested in politics, and they needed to try and get the 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 new generations involved in some way. And so I think by MTV and all these different things, they tried to get people on board for politics and supporting politics. And in that, they created another means of division. It's you're a liberal or you're a conservative, and then it's you're left or you're right, or you're on the red team or the blue team. And so the whole structure of our government has been created to divide. It has been the agenda since the beginning because they understood that if there was just one, no one's in control. So they have to split that. And they create this paradigm where it's, oh, well, you have this people group over here and you have this people group over here. And oh, we'll give you representatives that will look out for all of your ideas and all of your all the things, all your worldviews will be promoted from each of these groups and they will represent you. Well, I can tell you that that's a false paradigm, and that it was all done to create division because this dualistic structure of this government, there is no other way around dividing the people. It's just naturally going to happen. Uh, and so, these different methods of division have been used throughout time. And I see even now, at least in my algorithms, because of the things that I've been researching and paying attention to, that it's interesting that this whole turning point thing that happened with Charlie Kirk, um, the irony in that name, the turning point, and that the name of the organization is incredible because you are seeing an actual turning point. I feel like in this country, what you have are these micro divisions now taking place amongst the the political groups. And there was I think a smaller one on the left where you had crazy lunatic liberals who were supporting and promoting and just, like, I guess praising the death of this man. Okay. And then you had the ones that weren't that far left, but they were looking at their group saying, this isn't what I represent, and I don't want to be associated with these people. So they've moved closer to the middle, and I think many people have even moved over that line into the conservative right, even just moderately. But anyway, there was that micro division that took place amongst their group from this. And then the bigger one, though, to be discussed is the one that took place in the conservative group, in the right. And what that was is that, the Charlie Kirk thing, the official narrative is laughable. I mean, it honestly is. And I can't believe anybody, honestly, at this day and age where you have the internet and you have lots of resources at your fingertips to be able to do some critical thinking and looking into these things yourself. I mean, I know there's always the people who, whatever the television says, that's the truth, but that's just not where we're at today. And Samps, sorry, it's my Saint Samps. But anyway, you had this division taking place. There's this emergence taking place in the right where you have a line being drawn between conservative right Zionists and those who are recognizing it and calling it out for what it is, and rightfully so, because we have many, many problems in this country. We are $38 trillion in debt. And the fact that we are still sending money and resources to other countries when our own is falling apart is absolutely ridiculous. And everybody should be upset with that. But regardless, you still have a big portion of the conservative right who are Zionists and who do support and condone everything that that little sliver of land over there does. They can do no wrong, you know. But a big group is starting to pull away, and that group is claiming America first. That's their movement, America first. Until we take care of our own, we cannot be dealing with these other nations. It shouldn't be happening. And so you have this micro division happening amongst the political groups now. And so it's just dividing. We just keep dividing even more and segregating ourselves even more into these groups. But, you know, like I said, this division thing, it's not new. It's not new. But there's one division that is actually substantial and that actually matters. And it's the only one that you should be paying attention to. We need to just disconnect from all of that garbage and recognize it for what it is, okay? And to not allow all that nonsense to divide us, because it's quite literally stealing our power. And because, like I said, you know, there is power in numbers. And when we're united, there is great power in that. But regardless, like I was saying, what I'm getting at here is that there was a line drawn in the sand about 2,000 years ago, and it's the only line that matters. And what side of the fence that you are on when it pertains to this topic, it's the only thing that matters. And so that line that's been drawn in the sand, you need to pick a side and you need to get on it, and you need to forget about all that other nonsense, because this is the only one that matters. And so it's found in a few different places in our scriptures. And again, listen, folks, man, we are just bombarded with so much from the mainstream media, and much of it is lies. And so we need to find some type of calibration, and we need to get to zero. We need to be at true north. We need to have something that can ground us and keep us, like I said, calibrated to truth. And to me, it's not out there. It's not out there. That's been shown time and time again to be full of lies. And honestly, today, you can see it for what it is. It's evil. There is pure evil out there in all of that. So it's in the Holy Scriptures that we need to stay grounded. And this is where we find our truth. And this is where our compass keeps us at true north, right here. And it's a moral compass. Okay? But the line that was drawn in the sand was from our Messiah, okay? Jesus, the Christ, Yeshua, the Mashiach, whatever you want to call him, okay? He drew a line in the sand 2,000 years ago. And this is what he had to say. Now, this that I'm reading from it's in Luke 12:51. It's also found, I believe, in Matthew. You know, much of the Gospels are common accounts from different points of view. So I'm just going to read this one. It says, Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be in 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, and the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her own mother-in-law. And what he's saying here in context is, with his coming and with what he was bringing forth, that there would be a division taking place. And you would have those who would follow after him and those who would reject him. And so this is the only dividing line that matters, folks. This is the only one. And I think we find ourselves at a time where we can no longer be hanging out on the fence, because what'll happen is eventually there's going to come a time where, is if you are caught on that fence, you are lumped in with the other side. You're going to be lumped in on the other side. So we have to make a decision here. And this is the only one that truly matters. This decision, this dividing line. What side of the fence you are on here is the only one that matters. And as far as all those divisions that I just mentioned that were created by man to try and break us up and to steal our power, it tears down all of them, okay? Because on this side of the line, there are all of those people, black, white, left, right, rich, poor, powerful, weak, whatever, all of them are found on both sides of this fence, okay? They are all fabricated. They are all fabricated means of division. They mean nothing, but this one is the true one, and this is the one that truly matters. And so we have to pick a side. And I'm bringing you this today because I feel like that time is running out to pick a side. We have to decide who we follow today. Who are we following? You have to see how hollow and just there's nothing in this synthetic world that's been created all around us, that everybody seems to be immersed in and just chasing after the things of that mean nothing. Okay? When true peace and happiness and contentment and everything that is good in this reality is found on this side of the fence. Okay? And so the scriptures tell us, though, that there is going to come a time when the gig's up. The time for you to choose will be over. It will be too late. And so I just want to finish by reading that verse, and that one is found in Revelation. And that is Revelation 22:11. And it says, "He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his works." So, folks, there is a division that took place a long time ago, and each generation is faced with making a decision of who you will follow, which side you will follow. And I do believe that the current climate that we find ourselves in and that we see the world in, you have to recognize the evil that is all around you. And we have to make a declaration in our life of who we're going to follow. And so that's what this was about today, to encourage you to stop dragging your feet, to stop sitting on the fence. We got to pick a side. We got to get on one side or the other, and we need to be fighting the good fight. We're at war here, folks. We are in a spiritual battle. And is that matters, nothing else. And so that's really all I had to talk about with you today. It was heavy on me, and I just wanted to get it out there. Like I said, I see on internet land a whole lot of divisions happening around this whole Charlie Kirk thing. And what I see is an opportunity. I see an opportunity. I don't think we're ever going to know what happened here. And as many people are just delving into it and trying to find the evidence and come up with what actually happened. Listen, that will never be what's written in the history books anyway, okay? It's always their narrative. It's always the lies. And so what else do you think you've been lied to about? I'm telling you, it's been a lot. And so the only place to find truth is right here in this, and we have to pick that side. And so hopefully you'll make that decision soon. It's never too late, except when it's too late. That's all I got. Like I said, sorry about your toes if I stepped on them. Asthma's out.